Welcome back to Market by Live. And straight off the top, I want to say I've missed that theme song in my life. We've been flat stick. Another record month is just about in the books. It's one of the reasons why you have not seen us over the last couple of weeks. But I tell you what, I am missing that theme song. It's always a little bit of a pump up. All right, what do we got for you this week? Well, it is the 24th of October. And typically we were doing it on the 18th. We've moved to Sunday as well. So we've got a new time, new place. Unfortunately, you've still got the same ugly face delivering to you. But that's all right because I bring stats. So we're going to look at some stats. We're going to look at some of the crazy sales that have happened over the last couple of days. They're the hottest ones to have a gander at and see what's happening the weekend. And we're going to get our first glimpse of what the crazy selling season actually means and how it's all been going so far. So let's do that. Let's jump and grab some screen share action. I'm hoping everyone can hear me, of course, with the headset and mic and all that sort of jazz. And let's have a look now. Straight off the bat, Josh Tonks, new to Market Buy. So first and foremost, Josh, welcome to Market Buy, and well done. What a cracking sale. You've got this one away fantastically. So that one started out 730,000, finished up with an offer acceptance of 813,500. Vendors, no doubt, are incredibly ecstatic about that. What's really interesting about this sale and all the ones I'm going to show you today, there were 25 plus registered buyers for this property, 25 plus. So, of course, what that means for Josh is, and I hope, Josh, this is exactly what you're doing in every single appraisal over the coming days and weeks, is that you're sitting in there saying, hey, look, here's all of the activity, here's all the action. And as you can see, we had plenty of registered buyers and only one buyer could buy this property. So there's plenty out there. And that's something our stats will show as well when we jump into them. Let's jump across now. Let's go into the Australian Capital Territories. Much like Australia, New Zealand, ACT and New South Wales, of course, have only just come out of lockdowns. Victoria's very shortly about to as well. Hallelujah, happy days, and stoked for everyone who's been battling down there. But another cracking sale from out of the ACT, starting at that 880,000 first offer on the market at 980, selling for 1,010,000 under auction conditions. Looking at that one, so well done to the agent team. A fantastic sale in Flynn. Jumping into Victoria, just out of or able to go back to work, I think is probably the best language that I have for that. Is that agents in Victoria have recently been able to go back to work, which is absolutely phenomenal, and no doubt a huge stress lifted off their shoulders. But Noel Jones, look, one of our consistent performers down in Victoria. Noel Jones, you probably see him every other week on Market Buy Live, and you see here that cracking auction started at 1.25 million. It's on the market at 1.38, and two buyers duked it out, both of them fighting hard for it, and it finishing up at $1.55 million. A fantastic result for the Noel Jones team. Well played, well done, guys. Great effort all round. And we jump back into the ACT. We're having a bit of a southeastern coast or southeastern state, shall we say, theme today. But it's just epic that these guys are able to operate now out of lockdown and that sort of thing. So McCann team started 900,000 that first offer on the market at 1,050,000 and finishing up 1.23 million. Now with that one, I believe there's 18 plus buyers on that one. The Noel Jones one, there were 25 plus buyers. Agent team 30 plus buyers. So there's plenty of activity happening, and of course I hope all of those officers in their next lot of appraisals are going to be slapping down that sales activity report and say, hey guys, you see this? You see all this activity? We had all these buyers registered. You can see them engaging in and registering and so forth. Only one of them could buy the property. So there's a whole bunch more out there. Let's see if we can hook you up with them. All right, let's jump off from the sales and let's have a look at some stats. We're going to start with Queensland. Queensland numbers are looking good. So this is based as at today, 24th of October. And we've got some interesting stats. So the average first to last, 87,000 between the first offer and the accepted offer. That's jumped up for Queensland nicely by about $3,000. It was about $84,000 if I remember correctly in our last check-in. The average active days on market has dropped from about 10 to 7. So properties in Queensland are going very, very quick. The average offers has dropped just slightly. I think that might be a graphical error because 30, I think it's gone up from that actually. But nonetheless, 30.69 is the average offers that are happening on a market buy sold property in Queensland. And the average number of buyers has climbed to 11.53. So fantastic effort there. In fact, I'm very, very confident the average offers has climbed as well. So the little red down bit there's just a graphical error. Jumping into New South Wales. So New South Wales, we're not seeing as good a results in what we'd like. Look, the first to last has dropped. The active days on markets increased, and the average offers has dropped. The average number of buyers has dropped. And look, it'd be very, very easy to see the red and to see, the average buyers drop and things like that, and proclaim doom and gloom. The average number of buyers has dropped by about 20%, but there's still 8.9 buyers on average engaging with each sale in New South Wales across on the Market Buy platform. So only one of those buyers can actually buy it. So there's still plenty of activity. And I think as New South Wales start to embrace their new freedom, or return freedom, I should say, we should start to see those numbers climb, particularly being that or through November and the early parts of December, I'd expect those to climb. Jumping now to Victoria. Across the board, we see numbers dropping, but I want to stress, look, this is the impact of lockdown. Absolutely. Look, there's still property selling, but it's harder. It's harder. So first to last is has dropped. Average active days on markets increased. Average offers has decreased, and of course, the average number of buyers has dropped. But again, drawing your attention to the fact that we say the average number of buyers has dropped, but there's still 9.1 buyers registering and engaging with sales on the Market Buy platform in Victoria. So for every sale that actually happens at the moment, on average, there's 8 buyers who are missing out. And so the supply and demand issue still exists. One would have to think, at least, at that particular stat. Jumping down into Tasmania for the first time, so setting a benchmark for Tasmania. We've got an incredible team in More Tasmania operating out of Hobart, and they're kicking some serious goals down there as well. So average first to last, we're looking at $30,000 increase. It'll be interesting to watch that number because I know that the activity is picking up in Tassie fairly quickly and with gusto, as you might say. And average active days on market 6.6, average offers 6, and the average number of buyers is 3.8 at the moment. So plenty of competition happening, maybe not as much as the mainland states, but as I say, there's only one buyer per property that can actually purchase a property. So any situation where you have multiple buyers is, of course, a win for the vendors. We have a look at the ACT, so we'll just jump back there to the ACT. Some incredible numbers. Look, the auctions and the online auction space and what's been happening in the ACT has been mind-boggling. Because they're running them as auctions as opposed to private treaty, of course, we've got an incredibly low active days on market, as the agents are, of course, opening up the property once the auction's about to go live. But average first to last, $146,384. Average offers there, 28.9. And again, 8.38 buyers per property. Jumping across to South Australia, the average first to last, 29,600. So I believe that may actually be the lowest across all the states, even slightly under Tasmania there. Average active days on market, we're looking at 13.43. The average offers that we're talking about there is 19.4 offers per property, and there's 10.8 buyers on average per property in South Australia. So again, there's good numbers of buyers out there, and the supply and demand, from everything we're seeing so far, the supply and demand issue is still the main problem facing buyers at the present point in time. Jumping across to WA, so their average first to last has dropped. They're down to 57,000, but that's still a decent chunk to go first to last. Average active days on market is sitting at about 10.5, and they're seeing about 15.5 offers from around about just under 7 buyers on average. So the buyers have dropped off a little bit there in Western Australia, and that's more than likely simply because they can't get across the border. But hopefully that'll start to open up as, of course, Australia opens up. In fact, somebody was telling me today that if you want to be in a COVID safe state, WA is the place to be. So it's an interesting thought to have, and it'll be interesting to see how the borders opening influences that, particularly in the spring market. But nonetheless, on average, 6.78 buyers, and each property can only be purchased by one buyer. So for every one buyer that succeeds, right now there's almost 6 buyers that are missing out over in WA. And quickly, let's jump across the ditch and check on our cousins in New Zealand. The average first to last is just under 57,000. That has come down, but New Zealand went through a period that was just insane, and their average first to last was well up over 100,000 from memory. So that's probably coming back to more about the standard average for New Zealand at the present point in time. But they are also they've had various different types of lockdowns, particularly in key markets throughout this period. And of course, that's always going to impact the ability for buyers to inspect property. And as you can see there, so average number of buyers 4.5, average number of offers 16.5, showing that they are aggressive in the marketplace. And average active days on market has increased to about 16.04. So there's our stat wrap, running around the country, and of course across the ditch to New Zealand to have a check on those stats over there. And it's good to be back. It's good to be back. We'll be rocking and rolling, I think, on a Sunday night. We'll see how we go at various different times on Sunday. If you do get value out of the content on Market Buy Live, remember to like the Market Buy page, subscribe on Twitch if you're on Twitch, on YouTube, and so forth, and give us a thumbs up. And if you've got anything you'd like to see us for us to talk about on the show, send through a comment or a message to the page and let us know. All right, that's it from me. May all your building and pest inspections go through without a hitch, and all of your buyers be paying cash. Bye for now.